Hi, I'm Tom Donahue, Mayor of the City of Rutland, and you're watching from the Mayor's Desk right here on PEG TV. Thank you for watching. We have a lot of things to cover today. There's been a lot of activity going on, and I think you'll find it all very interesting, thanks to this great community access television. So thanks for watching. Let's start out by talking about something you might have read about recently, the sale of Parker House, which is on Church Street in Rutland. That is a senior housing development that is HUD operated. And one of the nice things about that is that it's going to stay in that configuration, so to speak, under the auspices of HUD, but through a new company that's purchasing it called Steel Corporation. They actually own the Bardwell House in Rutland, so you can make that connection there. The Bardwell is very well operated, and Parker House will be too. It's another 40 plus units over there, the 75 at the Bardwell. So we're glad to have that housing in Rutland. We're glad to have that availability of affordable housing for seniors especially. We're glad to keep it under the auspices of the HUD arrangement with that purchase by Steel. Now, having said that, one of the exciting things is it was a $4.4 million sale that went to the Downtown Development Corporation, the DDC. That is a blast from the past because it was a organization that sort of preceded, if you will, the Downtown Rutland Partnership and the Rutland Redevelopment Authority many years back, but was still in existence and in the end was operating Parker House, so to speak, as its main function. But it was designed, like the Downtown Rutland Partnership, to assist projects in downtown. Originally, the Parker House was going to be located in downtown, and then back in the day, didn't work out that way. So it ended up on Church Street there. But we're glad to have it still operate as housing. For the foreseeable future, it will be sort of protected in that way with this HUD housing project, which is great. We don't want to lose that housing. Very, very significant. So this is a real win-win for Rutland, that being one win, the stability of that in the long-term housing with Steel Corporation running it, which is, well suited to do so as they operate the Bardwell House in Rutland here too. Additionally, that $4.4 million is going into a special fund that has been designed by the now board of the sort of reconfigured board of the DDC, the Downtown Development Corporation. Shout out to them and appreciate them. They're being led now by Joe Kraus. Many other well-known people in the area are involved in that board, so to speak, kind of behind the scenes, if you will, because what they're doing is taking that money and they're going to literally invest it or reinvest it, if you will, in downtown Rutland. So I want to give a shout out to them because I'm very excited about their plan. It's a great opportunity to take funds from a sale like that, keep that housing intact and operating for the future, but then have this incentive for some downtown development, $4.4 million. So I thank them for that because I'm very excited about this plan that they had presented to me a while ago, and I concurred with their direction. What they're going to do is act with the Redevelopment Authority and the Chamber of and Economic Development of the Rutland region and others as sort of a screening board that would look at future proposals that might want maybe some gap funding or some other incentive for bricks and mortar. I like to think of it as development in downtown that would have what they call a significant impact. In other words, sort of a significant change. So in other words, they won't be doing landscaping with it and things like that because they want to make sure that that the change is more significant when they invest in whatever the proposal that comes forward is. That we don't know yet, but there'll be potentially many. So that is so that's where the win-win comes in because that development fund, if you will, through the DDC, coupled with the making somewhat permanent that housing arrangement for seniors on Church Street is the other part of the win. I'm very excited for Rutland on that initiative, and those are the good things that are starting to happen in Rutland. I started a little hashtag Rutland VT Proud, because we are proud here in Rutland of what is happening and what our future is looking like as we move forward one step at a time to improve Rutland, raise our bar, raise our expectations. We have a ways to go, Expectations in our bar has been set a little low, and we're raising that now. And there is some frustration out there about situations in Rutland that have been allowed to continue, and I believe that is sort of because we have allowed our bar to be set a little low, maybe unintentionally, but nevertheless. Time to raise that bar, time to be #RutlandVT proud, and this is one of those great things that has developed and now is public. That is exciting about people bully on Rutland, people willing to invest in Rutland and support Rutland in this way. So thanks to the Downtown Development Corporation to do just that with that funding and that sale. Fantastic. Along those same lines, Sarah Properties will be opening I should say groundbreaking on their 12 new units of housing on 101 Franklin Street. And I'm looking forward to being at that groundbreaking. They're going to do a ceremony where they're also going to have sort of a family-oriented neighborhood party on the site at that event. And you can find that on social media right now. And you can always go to my Facebook page, I Love Rutland VT. The Facebook page is I Love Rutland VT. And you'll find, I try to post these events so that you can see the detail of each. We'll also try to put that up here. But the point being that I'm going to throw a picture up for this development because it's 12 new units of housing, and it's very, very nice looking housing. Right now, that's a vacant lot. This is on the corner of Franklin and Cherry Street in Rutland. And it's going to be this really, really beautiful housing. Each building, it'll be 2 buildings side by side. Each building will have 6 units in it, and there'll be 1 to 2 bedroom apartments. It's going to have on-site laundry. It's going to have sort of a courtyard built around it. Real classy looking development for Rutland. So excited about this development, which will be well north of $2 million, and provide additional housing opportunities for those in Rutland, which is the kind of investment we want to continue to see here. This is really tremendous. Appreciate the investment from that company and their leaders, which I can't talk too much about here because community access television, we're not allowed to promote sort of for profit, if you will. We can touch on it, but not get too much in the details. So that's why I sometimes leave a little detail out, because it's part of the rules and regulations around community access TV, which I fully support, because we don't want this to be just like every other channel. This is unique, and we're proud of our community access television, so we follow the rules. Anyway, but you can always go to I Love Rutland VT on Facebook and find these details out. It's also on X as well. And I look forward to communicating with you more throughout the weeks and days, really. As these great things happen, I tend to try to post them there so that you can see them for yourself and get all the detail that goes with it. So that's a really, really exciting additional investment in Rutland that'll be occurring by late, well, I would say early fall. These should actually be habitable, ready to go. So that's exciting too. This is a now thing. This isn't something we're talking about in the, way out in the future. They've been working on this for a few years, but we've finally gotten to the point where we've helped them through my Community and Economic Development Committee when I was the Rutland City Alderman. We brought them through committee and helped them with some tax stabilization, but it was a very great arrangement for Rutland, where we would see about $125,000 over the next 5 years from that property, where the normal taxes would have been raising about $15,000. So it's a great arrangement that helps them determine their costs, but at the same time, provides some incentive and then some revenue for the city that wasn't existing prior to that development. And we end up with 12 new units of housing and some really, really nice looking housing. I'm excited for the neighborhood. I'm excited for Rutland to have that investment here, and that's just the beginning. So that is the 101 Franklin Street, again, Franklin and Cherry. And you'll be seeing that groundbreaking. I'm sure I'll have a picture of it on the next program from the mayor's desk so that you can see it if you don't make it. But you're all going to be welcome to that event, and there'll be more publicity around that coming up. And then the other is at the Board of Aldermen's meeting this past week, the city brought forward the alternative that had been selected through a fairly public process. I made sure that it was a very public process on what everybody liked about the 3 versions of revitalization plans, if you will, for Center Street in downtown Rutland. And alternative 2 was chosen. We'll have a picture of that up for you. But that is the one they kind of nicknamed the chicane. And the only reason is it's a one-way street. As you recall from previous shows when I talked about this, we had 2 one-way options and a 2-way option for that street. But the one thing I did like about this proposal, and the reason it's called a chicane, is because it does have a little twist in it as it goes down the street. It provides a significant amount of pedestrian walkway on one side particularly. It shortens the crosswalk length, which is important. And it has a great sort of gathering space out in front of the Paramount Center, which, as I've said in previous shows, sees 100,000 people a year now. So it's a very important destination to downtown. I think you're going to like it. I appreciate all of you who have participated in the public meetings, weighed in on the options. I thank Community Access Television here at PEG TV for also covering the last public presentation and then putting it on PEG TV, excuse me, so that you could actually see for yourself all of the design work that was done and the options that were available. So that was great. We were able to share that on our social medias and so forth as well. So thank you for that. But with all that input, it was recommended to do the chicane one-way version, which would run east to west. And then basically that was then adopted by the Board of Highway Commissioners, which I chair, along with Board President David Allaire and the Commissioner of Public Works, Bob Protovansky. And then that was recommended onto the Board of Aldermen because I wanted it to be thoroughly vetted and have the board's input and vote, if you will, as well. That was an extra step that we took. And they also selected that second alternative. So that's the plan going forward. We're excited about having that accomplished at this point. A lot of work. That is the plan for the top of the street. And as I mentioned previously, underneath the ground is going to be a lot of infrastructure improvement. And that I'll leave to the engineers. But additionally, I wanted to mention at the board meeting that we had approved a LIFT grant that came through the Rutland Redevelopment Authority. I was also at that board meeting at the Redevelopment Authority to speak in favor of this $10,000 grant to the VFW right here on Whale Street in Rutland. They're doing a tremendous facelift to that building. Now that building, as you know, is very prominent. It takes, it's right there almost to the corner of West Street, Route 4. Going through downtown, this is going to be a $25,000 facelift that they will receive a $10,000 grant through this program. The word LIFT, or the acronym I should say, LIFT, stands for Local Incentives and Financing for Thriving, an Economic Development Program. So that's your LIFT, LIFT, Economic Development Program. And these are incentives that are out there so that people can leverage some funds. And in fact, we take these monies and leverage them too, because you think about this $10,000 investment of ours leverages another $15,000 from the VFW for a $25,000 facelift. All of those funds come from an ancillary source, not your property taxes, but actually tax and lease revenue that comes from some solar developments that were in private, I should say, solar developments in Rutland. It was identified that half of those funds, as they come in throughout the year, would be earmarked for these incentive programs, the BIAP program through the Rutland Redevelopment Authority, which stands for Business Incentive Assistance Program, BIAP, and then the LIFT program, which is a little larger. The BIAP's $5,000, the LIFT is $10,000 and can be used for things like the facade. And that's where those revenues come from. So I think that's important for you to know. And the board also then subsequently approved the Redevelopment Authority's recommendation for the grant for the VFW. And I know that the VFW, in speaking to their leaders, is ready to go with this project. So again, I'm going to say this is a now project. I'm excited to talk about now projects. when I ran for this office, I talked about getting some wins for Rutland, and what I talked about was not, I have a vision for the future, yes, but I wanted to get some wins for Rutland now. And this is Rutland winning right now. When we talk about this CDC investment, when we talk about the Franklin Street investment, when we're talking about the VFW facelift, these are all things that are happening now. These are the immediate wins that I was referring to when I said we got to get Rutland winning again. So here we go, and I'm very excited that the Board of Aldermen then unanimously approved the VFW application through the Rutland Redevelopment Authority. So congratulations to them, and I'm looking forward to seeing that work being done as literally as we speak. It's going to start and get done now, and I love it. Additionally, the Redevelopment Authority, and with my support as well, I should say, did come back to the board with the reauthorization of that arrangement for the solar revenues to go to the Rutland Redevelopment Authority, to go to the Business Assistance Incentive Assistance Program, BIAP, and to go to the LIFT grant program, Local Incentives and Financing for Thriving Economic Development Program. And so that was reauthorized by the board for 5 more years. And I supported that as well. Very important, we have those incentives out there. These are arrows in the quiver when we're trying to attract new business and existing business to invest in their businesses, which are also, as you know, hiring local people and attracting people into our region. So I'm a big fan of incentive programs to give us the advantage over other communities when we're trying to attract business. And we will be packaging this up. These will all be part of our packages that we, along with our Tier 1A exemption that I've talked so much about when we get that coming up soon, that we will be able to put our best foot forward to say, here's why you want to invest, live, work, etc. in Rutland City. Along those same lines, I wanted to mention a couple of things that also occurred at the board meeting. I was happy to stand up under communications from the mayor and nominate my pick for the Rutland City Board of Aldermen, and that is Kurt Esposito. I think you may have heard that by now, but I'm reiterating it here. Kurt has run for the Board of Aldermen a couple of times unsuccessfully, but has shown a real commitment, worked hard during the campaign, attends a lot of meetings, he's up to speed on the issues, sincere interest in serving. So this is his 8-month audition, I should say, to you, the voters that are watching, because he, I believe, intends to run for election in March, and this is his chance to show you what he can do. So I'm excited to give him this opportunity. He also resides on South Street in Rutland, where we will soon be putting some sidewalks, by the way. Some new sidewalks coming for South Street in Rutland I'm excited about. Finally finished those ones up on Stratton Road. That looks great. Excited about those. And I just wanted to let you know that, in the past and currently we haven't had anybody residing in that southwest neighborhood on the Board of Aldermen. So this is a chance for us to actually have someone who actually lives right there in that neighborhood on the board. So congratulations to Kurt. And also I nominated John Coffin to be the 3rd inspector for Ward 3, which is the Legion, American Legion. And that will be important because we have the August elections coming right up, and we want to have our full team. So with that, both of those nominations will be voted on at the next Board of Aldermen's meeting, and we'll have our full board again at the Board of Aldermen. Kurt, if approved, would be replacing Kiana McClure, who has resigned. And additionally, John Coffin, and I want to mention, because I think it's important that with John, he was filling in for a spot, and I just want to go to if I can put my hands on my own report here, my own message to the board. I'm going to read it to make sure I have it correctly, which is, in my memo to the board, I mentioned about John, and it came highly recommended by both our city clerk, Tracy Capusta, and also our ward clerk of elections, Tony Romeo. But I also wanted to say, and did in my memo to the board, that I would like to posthumously recognize Estorina Bergendahl, who served in this capacity and sadly passed away on October 1st of 2025 that created this vacancy. We really appreciate her and the time that she dedicated to the city. We are saddened by her passing, but incredibly appreciative of the service that she provided to the city. It created this vacancy that John Coffin would then fill, and that's who I've nominated. But I did want to take that chance to posthumously recognize Estorina Bergendahl for her service to the city, and really appreciate John stepping up to fill that role. And then moving right along, I just wanted to mention that I had been able to recognize the MSJ Division IV baseball champions. If you kept a chance to watch that here on PEG TV at the board meeting, the young men that were on that team were there in attendance, all in shirt and ties. They look great. Congratulations to that state championship, which included a number of players and a lot of support from their coaches from Mill River as well. So it was an MSJ team comprised of some Mill River students, and wow, they actually had shut out the opposing team 3-0 in that championship at Centennial Field, so it's kind of on the big baseball stage, if you will. So proud of them. We had fun recognizing them along with their coach and the principal, Mike Audette at MSJ, and so we are very, very appreciative of them attending the board meeting so we could celebrate this state championship. We'll do more of that in the future as we have the opportunity to have more state champions. And those are the kind of things that we want to be sure that we shine a light on as we talk about, some positive things going on here in Rutland. That's a win. And then I did also mention and gave a shout out to, of course, all those involved in our July 3rd and July 4th celebrations of our 250 celebration. The third was the intermunicipal event that took place at Northwood Park in the town of Rutland, where we teamed up with the town, our two recreation departments, their fire department, and our two police departments all worked together to be there. Gail and I had a great time at the event on the 3rd and appreciate that tremendous collaboration of the two municipalities actually working together to celebrate this event on the 3rd of July, which was a Friday night, followed by the Vermont State Fairgrounds efforts to put on quite a nice family fun day there with the Demolition Derby culminating in a shout out to Alex Adams and his team, his great team of people that put together fireworks over Rutland. Great show. Gail and I went down, brought the lawn chairs, parked across the street, literally physically with the lawn chairs. We parked up the street, walked down with the lawn chairs, found a good grassy spot and settled in for the extravaganza there. But great way to celebrate the 4th. This is, again, the community's coming together to celebrate, and I know everyone had a really great time and a safe 4th of July, so that was fantastic. So appreciative. And lastly, I wanted to just back up to mention at the board meeting, I had given a shout out to our fire department and our police departments because they had done a recent, in June, that was late June, what we call a swift water rescue. There was juveniles rafting down the Otter Creek, right where the small falls is there, and it's called the Head Dam, I think. But it is precarious. If you go over that, you oftentimes get trapped in it. Sometimes when you look there now, you'll see logs rolling around in there. They don't spit out. You get stuck in there. These juveniles were very fortunate. They made it beyond that. Their raft didn't. It stayed there. But the kids got spit out, sort of, if you will, down the... And two of them made it to land and were assisted by Rutland Regional Rutland Regional Ambulance, I should say, and then the medical center. But two were stranded on the island in the middle, just below the bridge, and over across from the community center. And we had an officer, Caravaggio, who actually went in the water to assist them. It was brave of him and appreciated. And then the fire department actually launched our team that goes into the river with the boats that we have at our Rutland City Fire Department. So we have this equipment there, and these folks, these firefighters are trained for these kind of rescues, and they went in and ferried them back to land safely, and there was some injury involved with the youth, so they had to be careful. So, you know, we want to give a shout out to Rutland City Fire and Rutland City Police for literally coming to the rescue. It was a very dangerous situation. It could have definitely resulted in a lot worse ending, but I am proud to say that it did not, and partly, you know, because they were fortunate, because they made it beyond that that fall portion and didn't go to the other falls. Very, very potentially hazardous, dangerous scenario there that did not occur, and then ultimately rescued by City PD, Rutland City Fire Department, and then the Rutland Regional Ambulance, Rutland Regional Medical Center. A great team of people that are there with these abnormal scenarios where it's just incredibly unusual, but we were ready. And shout out to all of them, very proud of them, very proud of our city employees. With all that they do every day, we've got a great team of people assembled at City Hall right now, and I'm happy to be leading that along with their leadership, which I formerly called the department heads, are now our leadership team. And then we're running out of time, so I just want to mention also on the Board of Aldermen's meeting, they approved a number of Friday Night Lives. So the first one, July 10th, then July 17th, July 24th, July 31st, August 7th, and August 14th were all approved. That's Halasante at the Downtown Rutland Partnership was there to present to the board. They had a long list of these special event permits that were all approved by the board. So you'll see plenty of information, but the first one kicks off on July 10th, and then the 17th following is the next one. But Friday nights in downtown Rutland for the whole summer, right through the middle of August. Very exciting. Also, Sherry Berkheimer was there mentioning the 65th Art in the Park, and she had two special event permits. One for coming right up August 8th and 9th at Main Street Park, August 8th and 9th for the 65th Art in the Park. So great event put on by the Chaffee and all of their volunteers. And then I also wanted to mention they went ahead and she had two on there. She had her October on there as well. So she got that approved for October 10th and 11th, thinking way ahead. I don't want the summer to go by that fast. But good to know, October 10th and 11th will be Art in the Park, following their August event, which is the 8th and 9th of August. And also, so a little bit unusual, the Sunday night concerts, the Seven to Sunset series is happening right now on Wednesday nights. Been to a couple already. They were fantastic, a lot of fun. And then the community band, our Rutland City Band, is on Sunday nights, also at 7. But I'm highlighting this one because they have what they're calling a 250th Celebration Community Band Concert with members from a dozen community bands around Vermont. They'll have a dozen community band members from around Vermont participating at this special community band concert on the evening of August 9th at 7 p.m. So I encourage you to come out for that one. That's going to be a beauty. I can hardly wait. What an event, but you'll be hearing a lot more about that. And then last but not least, for today's purposes, I just wanted to mention that I attended the Changing of the Gavel at the Rutland City Rotary recently, their big event. And I am back in the Rotary, so to speak. I was awarded this honorary membership in the Rutland City Rotary. I'm a 21-year past Rotarian in the Rutland City Club that meets at the VFW on Mondays. And I'm a past president of that club and so forth. So I had to step away, but am happy to return. They've asked me to come and give quarterly updates, which I've already done my first one. It went really well. Love speaking to our Rotarians, and really appreciate the fact that they were willing to make me an honorary member so that I can show up for their meetings and communicate with them in that way going forward. But it comes without all of the obligations of being a Rotarian. So with my busy schedule, it's more realistic. So thank you to the Rutland City Rotary. And with that, I want to thank PEG TV for putting on from the Mayor's Desk, and thank all of you for watching. Keep tuned, because this is the way we're going to be communicating all the great things happening. As I become what I call the communicator in chief, let's talk about what's going on in Rutland and fill you in on the details. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.